Hello and welcome to the No Balls podcast. I'm your host, Patrick McDonald, with me co-host Sheldon Kaufman. Today, bi-weekly recap of the NBA season. I feel like we're always saying it's been a great couple weeks of basketball, but it has been a really great couple weeks of basketball. We've had some good games, good teams playing good teams. It's not like the random lulls of December where everybody's just playing the Jazz and the Raptors. It's been pretty good, and there's been some evolving storylines. Sheldon, we're going to start it off with trivia. What do you have for me today?
All right, I got you with a multiple choice one here for you, Pat. Which player holds the record for most career technical fouls in NBA history? Is it Dennis Rodman, Rasheed Wallace, Karl Malone, or Charles Barkley?
Okay, my brain instantly went to Draymond Green.
Mm,
Maybe the flagrants are mixing in a little bit with the technicals.
yeah. He's more of an extreme type of guy.
I always remember earlier in my NBA viewership watching Draymond play, and I think they would always because when he got Anthony Edwards recently got suspended for his technical 16th technical or some shit.
Yeah.
Draymond got to the point where he would get suspended on his 24th technical because they do it after the eighth one and then like
Yep.
the 28th technical. It's crazy. I think the only person besides Draymond to get suspended on a 24th technical is Rasheed Wallace, and he's done it multiple times. I think
Okay.
he's my
Final
pick.
answer: Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
Close. It's Karl Malone. Rasheed Wallace is third all time. Karl Malone had 332 techs. Charles Barkley 329. Rasheed Wallace 317.
Did he get 13 technicals? For never mind.
Yes,
Oh, he got
that's how
13
he. That's
techs for
how he
that.
reached the limit.
Yeah, he got 13 technicals after the ball knowers will know what we're talking about. You don't even have to be a ball knower. Um, anyway, we'll transition now to our normally scheduled content, not the Karl Malone, not like us content. Um, I have some news for you because
Mm.
I haven't even run this by you. We have unlocked a new team to talk about. We may now talk about the Philadelphia 76ers because they are not
Oh.
making the playoffs now.
Oh
Joel
wow.
Embiid is out for the year. And for those who don't know, earlier in the year we set a rule that we were not going to talk about them until they made the playoffs and were in a playoff series. Joel Embiid is now out. They are currently behind Brooklyn. They are a game behind Brooklyn, who's the 11 seed, who's a game and a half behind Chicago, who's the 10 seed. So Philly's not making the playoffs, and Embiid's out for the year. I mean, where do we start with Philly? Do we just talk about their whole year in general, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think. I don't think either of us thought that they would be in this position, even when we knew Embiid was going to miss time. Um, but I mean, it's been crazy the amount of times he's missed. He's only played, I think, 19 games this year, and now I think the 76ers are doing a right thing in shutting him down, especially with the reports that we're getting that he might need another knee surgery. It's very interesting stuff. But yeah, I think we should talk about the whole season. Not very good, especially from one of their biggest accusations of the offseason and Paul George, who's been very disappointing this season. I think he's only averaging 15 points a game. Um, Hold on. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Yep, that sounds
He's
right
averaging
though.
16 points a game on like average shooting. Just not really the factor I think that they thought they were going to get. And Tyrese Maxey's also missed a good bit of time for them, I believe. Uh, and he's doing good, but I mean, just the other guys are not getting it done. Pat, what do you think?
I mean, I was told OG Anunoby was an overpay, but I don't know. Paul George is over here doing a bad OG Anunoby impression. It sucks, honestly. Um, they start the year with Paul George and Embiid out. Embiid doesn't play for like 3 weeks, it feels like. Um, Maxi is running around as I mean, he's doing like the 3 games that Steph Curry played in 2021, I think. Um, where Clay wasn't there, Draymond wasn't there. Curry ends up breaking his hand like a couple games into the season. That's what it felt like. Like Tyrese Maxey was just over there, like running around with a bunch of dogs who like couldn't even find their tail when they tried to chase their tail. Like that's what it felt like, and really rough to lose a season of development. And Paul George and Embiid are getting paid a ton of money until 2029, I think.
That's crazy.
It, it's really bad. I guess just reflecting on the overall Embiid saga. Last year, they were at least on pace to being one of the best teams in the league last year. Then Embiid tears his meniscus. And we're like, oh, well, Embiid's out for the year now. There goes Philly season. And what they do instead is they have him get a meniscectomy. A
Mm,
minute.
that's a big word there, Pat.
Yeah. I've been practicing that one for the 5 minutes before we started recording.
I figured.
Basically, there's multiple types of procedures for a meniscus tear. There's a traditional meniscus repair surgery, which would have sidelined him for the rest of the year. The meniscusectomy, man, I used to be able to say it very good. I lost it. About a year ago when I was recording episodes by myself, I definitely nailed it. Um,
You're good.
but
You're good.
I'm cooked now. I'm washed. I can no longer say meniscectomy. Um, and then there's the like what's it called? Transplant. There we go. There's the transplant surgery, which is what Lonzo Ball got. That sidelined him for multiple years. Obviously, that's not what they were gonna go with Embiid because you don't want Embiid to sit out 2 seasons. But they go with the meniscus.
Mm.
They go with the short route that sets him out for 4 to 6 weeks, and those surgeries are not previously. It's a relatively new meniscus surgery, and they've not really been done on players of the height and weight of Joel Embiid. And I would call it a misstep. I think if you have a guy who you know is going to be on an MVP level, they should have shut him down right then. But they rushed him back with that in the playoffs. It never looked like he was healthy in the playoffs when he was playing, and this season he just hasn't been healthy ever since. It's good that they're finally shutting down, and I think it might still be meniscus that they're repairing. I don't think they ever really fully repaired it, so I'm guessing that he will be out for up until like this time again next season potentially. Um, it sucks that it took this long in the year for them to shut him down, even though they've been horrible. But they lost like 9 in a row, so it's just a bad situation. What else do we have, Lou? So we don't talk about Embiid's injured season for too long.
We can go to a positive note. I'm sure you're gonna like to talk about this one, but the Pistons are on an 8 game win streak. First time since I think
It's
oh eight
something.
oh
That's the
something. Yeah.
problem.
And I saw that their defense was over that stretch like number one in the league. So it's been getting done on the defensive side. And yeah, Pat, they're looking good. Or I think they lost tonight actually, but they were on an 8 game win streak. They're looking really good, and a lot of it is thanks to Cade Cunningham. And they've been playing some really good teams as well. And they are sixth in the West, sixth in the East. They just beat the Celtics by 20. Um, Saw a lot of clips from that game. Cade dropping people, or Asar Thompson dropping Tatum, and Cade getting dropped by Tatum. Crazy stuff. The Pistons are looking like a legit playoff contender right now, Pat.
Yeah, their defense is up to 10th, I believe now. Their offense is middle of the pack. It's still solid though. Getting adults in the room is all they needed to do. I wouldn't say I necessarily nailed the Kid Cunningham pick because he kind of just got incrementally better versus taking the huge step forward. But yeah, they've been awesome. Isaiah Stewart, shout out Isaiah Stewart. He is much improved defensively, and in the preseason episode, I know at least I was saying like, hey, this guy's just never really been that good in his career. Like he's been okay, but he's actually a really good NBA player now, and he protects the rim at a great level. He does the bare minimum to stretch the floor, and he's actually pretty good at stretching the floor. So shout out Isaiah Stewart playing out his mind, and Tobias Harris is looking like a better player than Paul George. Um,
Yeah, and Malik Beasley too for them, been really nice.
Malik Beasley does this thing where he just goes to random teams and
Just
just
snipe.
just leads the league in 3-point percentage for a year. Like he did it last year in Milwaukee. I think he did it in Minnesota when he got to Minnesota. Didn't happen with the Lakers. He got played out of a rotation. But Malik Beasley can shoot the ball, and it's really fun. Detroit, I think is pretty good. I think they're pretty good. You mentioned the defense over that stretch. I don't know if they're number one because there's a team that's playing really well recently that I have to admit I was critical of them after they traded for Luka Doncic. The Lakers have mustered up a pretty decent defense. Even it had started before Anthony Davis had gone down, but even since then, like, did you see the game against Jokic and the Nuggets? They they were just playing what you would call good defense,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they were being the attention to detail was very unique, not unique, but like super advanced, and I feel like that isn't a part of NBA gameplay as much as it needs to be. JJ Redick's a great coach.
yeah. I was just about to say.
Um, the personnel they're running out there right now, like Jackson Hayes is their only center. Behind him, it's Rui at center minutes, it's DFS at center
Um,
minutes.
what's that guy? Terrence Jamison the second. You know who I'm talking
Oh
about?
yes, I
He,
100%.
he's been doing really good. He's been playing a lot more too. Trey Jemison.
Trey Jameson, there we go.
Um, let me see. Or when he's been getting minutes, he's been playing pretty decent. But yeah, but he doesn't get it that often. Like you said, it's mainly Rui minutes and DFS minutes, and it's really impressive to see how they're able to bolster such a good defense, having not only Luka Doncic and probably one of the worst guard defenders in the league, and no center really half the time, or not a above average center, and they're still able to have such a good defense. It's really impressive what they're doing over there.
And like LeBron too. Like
Yeah.
he's just there's LeBron's hit or miss when he plays defense. I made the video about him saying LeBron James is not an all-star. Here's why. And then since then, LeBron James has been an all-star. Um, so thanks, LeBron. You're making me look real dumb. So maybe I have a curse that I can impose on people. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to make a video saying that the Cavs are the odds-on favorites or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to do it. Um, LeBron's played exceptionally well. How do we feel about this Lakers team if they run into a playoffs setting right now?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, they've been. I mean, not only is it LeBron that's looking good, it's Luka that's looking really good. Uh, he just had a triple double against the Cavs. His rebounding and assist numbers, even if he's going to only score 15 points, he's going to have 10 and 10 in the other two categories. And Austin Reeves has been playing really well for the Lakers too, like really, really well. Um, that with the defense that they've been able to do, I think they can at least make it past the second round. I don't think this is like a easy first round exit team. Like maybe we thought they were going to be, or at least I thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. I mean, a lot changes when Luka comes in, right?
Yeah. I
They're
mean,
eight,
even
they're 8-2, and they're fourth in the West, and they're only 3 games or 2.5 games behind the Nuggets for that third seed. So crazy.
even even after the trade, I was like, I don't think this really makes them a good. Like, I just didn't think they were going to be a good team, and I don't know. They're proving me wrong. I guess I shouldn't have bet against LeBron James and JJ Redick. The
Their
we'll see once
chemistry podcast is too
the
good.
podcast chemistry. Paul George needs to get uh how have I forgot his name? Uh how have I forgot
Paul George?
Philadelphia's head coach Raptors
Nick
Nick
Nurse.
Nurse. There we go. Yeah, he needs to get Nick Nurse on the podcast so they can suddenly become just the best defense in the league, even without Embiid, their starting center. Um, Lakers are fun. We'll see what they end up being. Once we come playoff time, like if their defense is still very good over the stretch since they have made the trade by playoff time, like it's gonna be really hard to pick against what they
It,
have.
is it 3 versus 6?
As of right now, they're in the 5 seed, so they
It,
would be playing
I thought they were the 4.
away. Right now they're the 4 seed. They would be playing
Okay.
Houston as the 5 seed.
Yeah, but if they were to make it to 3 seed, they'd be playing the Clippers.
Yes,
That'd be a fun matchup. That'd be a fun matchup.
it would be interesting, but I'm not sure if that's the case. At least at the end of the season, because there's another team playing pretty well right now. I think some of it's, their schedule's been really favorable to them recently, but Golden State, 7 seed currently, half game behind the Clippers for that 6 seed spot. If they could entirely avoid the play-in, that's pretty big for them. I don't think I'm saying that much by saying that's big for them, but that's pretty big for them. We talked last time about them with the Quentin Post stuff, and they've now moved into a starting lineup of Steph Curry, Brendan Pajemski, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. And I feel like they have Steph Curry, and then they have it's like they have Steph Curry, and then they have the shooting guard version of Jimmy Butler, and then
Mhm.
they have Jimmy Butler, and then they have the center version of Jimmy Butler. Like it's just really, it's just, the team's a whole embodiment of Jimmy Butler. It feels like, and they're playing very very good basketball. And early in the season, of course, he was one of my breakout picks, so of course it didn't go well. But Brandon Pajemski was playing pretty poorly, and people wrote him off pretty quickly. But he's this little things king, you know. He does all the little things on the floor, and I'm really glad he's out there playing with Jimmy Butler. Golden State, how do we feel about them potentially in a playoff setting if we roll in there right now?
It's very interesting. And we talk about the Golden State Warriors. Let's talk about how Steph had 56 last night and 12 3-pointers. I mean, that was crazy. There's also a team that is missing one of their really kind of huge bench pieces, and Jonathan Kuminga. He hasn't played since like January, like the start of January. But I like this Warriors team. The Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry combo has been really nice. I do think it's interesting that they're still not starting Quinton Post. Last game he went off. I think he had 19 or 18 off really good shooting efficiency, and he's 7 foot. Maybe have Draymond play the 4, and then if you want to really start Draymond that bad. But it's a very interesting team. Um, 1 second. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I mean, if Jimmy steps up, because I don't know how much Steph can carry. I feel like their offense relies a lot on Steph, and when you get into the playoffs, when the defense is a lot tougher and the focus is a lot on Steph, is Jimmy Butler going to be able to step up? Is Draymond going to be able to step up? Quinn Post, uh, Brandon Paczynski, right? We don't know. We don't know what Jimmy Butler is going to be like. But if Jimmy Butler can, I think their defense is honestly they're pretty solid, and they could be able to compete. I think offensively is where you might have some struggles.
Yeah, I kind of agree because even with like moving Draymond to center, because we talked about it early in the preseason show, we were like, hey, like Draymond at center, like that's probably the best for you spacing wise. But even when with them doing that, it's still, hey, Jimmy, they're gonna play off Jimmy, they're gonna play off Draymond, they're gonna play off Pajemski. Like it's still like the floor is still gonna be kind of cramped for Steph, and for me, it's really hard to remember who's still on this team because it feels like they traded everybody. GP2's still playing, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah,
GP2's still playing on this team. Kyle Anderson's gone. Uh, Moody's still there. Melton's out for the year. He's not even
Kevin
on the
Knox.
team.
Kevin Knox has been getting some minutes.
Kevin Knox, unfortunately, has been playing for them. Buddy Hield is still there. Schroeder, that's why I went and was like, who's still on this basketball team? Dennis Schroeder's no longer on this basketball team.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
said.
I
He's
think
on the
they're going to be
Pistons.
good.
Yeah.
I think you roll them into a playoff setting, maybe more so than the Lakers even. I feel like there's some scheme versatility with Golden State. Like, hey, if they need to go big, they can go big and they can run out a lineup with, hey, we got Draymond, we got Quinn Post. Here's Jimmy still out there, and Jimmy's your three out there who's as strong as an ox. Like, it, they can go big, they can go smaller with Draymond at the five. They can run out these lineups when Steph's out there that when Steph's not out there that just like aren't very great offensively, but hey, we have Jimmy, Kaminga, Draymond, Quentin Post, and Pajemski, and good luck scoring the ball. We got so many athletes out there, and we're just gonna hope to make enough offensively work. I think they can get some stuff. Scheme versatility wise, I think is what their strength is going to be because they can do all those different things. So many different pick and roll coverages with Draymond at center. Like Jimmy Butler might play the five, like guard fives in the playoffs, and Draymond might be being Draymond off the ball, just causing chaos. I'm really excited for Golden State against good teams. Unfortunately, they don't play good teams for a while. Um, so once they play a good basketball team, I will really be looking forward to seeing what that looks like with Golden State. Um, they've been really good. Do you have something else you want to go forward to real quick?
Yeah, we can go to Phoenix. A lot of interesting news out of Phoenix. They've really dropped the ball recently. They're 2-8 in their last 10, and they've fallen out of the play-in. And I don't know if you saw this, Pat, but Katie's expected to be traded this offseason. So really, really interesting stuff. What do you think about the KD stuff? Because this Suns team still doesn't have a first round. I don't think they control any of their first round picks up until like 2030.
I don't even think it's 2030. It might be 2033. Like, it's crazy. Um, I think there's rumblings going on about Coach Bud and his job security.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see a path that Kevin Durant's on this team next season.
Hmm.
Um, I think the real question is what goes on with Booker. Bradley Beal's got to be there. Like, who the hell's trading for Bradley Beal? Like,
Yeah.
nobody's doing it. Um, they still have some good players though. Like they'll get something for Grayson Allen. They'll get something for Nick Richards, who I believe has another year for $5 million after this. If not, you better hope you re-sign Nick Richards because you just gave up a little bit of stuff for them. I'm concerned in what it looks like. I think that the real needle mover on what this team is going forward is what's going on with Booker because I think Durant's just going to be gone. Um, and if I had to just throw something out there, if Booker is going to be moved, Jalen Green might be a Phoenix Sun. So
Mm,
we'll see about it. If
wow.
Book, we'll see. That's what I would do in the situation of the Rockets. Jalen Green's a Phoenix Sun if Devin Booker's available. Um, I mean I don't necessarily see a way that they could make the play in technically. They're 3.5 behind Sacramento currently,
I don't see
but
it, but
I could see Portland finishing with a better record than Phoenix.
yeah.
And I guess we'll do the same thing we did again with Philly. Like, where in this process do we think Phoenix went wrong?
Was it trading for Bradley Beal?
I've the graphics have been going on. Who's a better player right now between Beal and Austin Reeves?
Probably Austin Reeves.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, potentially.
And did Beal put him over the second apron, or were they already over it with?
Uh, they might have just been already over it. I don't know. They've been messy for a while with their
Yeah.
um they
Oh, maybe blowing up the the CP3, Aiden, Mikhail, Booker team, right? I
Right.
think that team was pretty good, but I forgot what year that was. But that team, like, I don't think really got a chance. And Aiden,
Forget CP3 or Austin Reeves. CP3 or Bradley Beal right now.
oh, I don't
Like
know.
that's a debate, and
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
that's crazy. What does
Yeah.
it come to?
I, yeah, Bradley Beal. It's just it's not good. Um, I mean, I think if you went through and made a top 100 NBA players, like Bradley Beal probably doesn't make it in there right now, and that's a guy who they just like pushed in a ton of chips for a couple years ago to get. And then you look
He's
at the rest of the structure of this team, like how many other like good NBA players are on this roster besides Booker and Durant?
Bo Bull's been playing well when he's starting.
I think the issue is that's the first guy we go to. Uh, Bol
Hey.
Bol. We've already had our point on Royce O'Neal. Like, please just let it be Royce O'Neal to shoot the ball. Um, even though Royce O'Neal's a good NBA player, and like Tyus Jones signed on the minimum this year. Like,
I think he's benched now.
yeah, for sure. It's
Crazy.
just, and then you consider the fact that I don't think that there's great fit between their three guys. Man, we got fooled. We both got fooled by this Suns team. Um,
Every year.
I thought they had done enough. Um, I should have realized Coach Budenholzer is a drop coverage merchant. Um, not for real, but like you can't play drop coverage with Yusuf Nurkic. Um, yeah, it didn't go well. I guess we'll have to reevaluate how we think about teams that have three players who don't fit well together. And I guess another example of that, who I remember having sixth, is Sacramento, who we don't have to go in depth on, but their three guys didn't fit well together at all. It's rough, 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 rough. All right. Let me quickly make sure I don't have any super. Oh, yeah, there is a team that we do need to mention. Denver. Denver's been really good, like really good the past couple weeks. And it feels like since Aaron Gordon has come back, Denver's just been ridiculously good. I haven't pulled up the numbers on it, but I would assume that before Aaron Gordon was back, I think they were like the 5 seed at best, and now they're running for like the 2 seed potentially. When you watch Denver play, um, I watched the Milwaukee game the other night. Did you watch that game by chance?
I didn't get a chance to catch that one.
Okay, yeah. So I watched the Denver Milwaukee game, and it's like they're running out these lineups with Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, and Russell Westbrook, and for some reason it just still works because Nikola Jokic is Nikola Jokic, and there's just a certain level of intensity that all of their guys bring that is just it's so fun to watch, and Russell Westbrook has been just such a pleasant surprise in Denver. Like his energy out there, he's doing the thing he should have done his whole career, where he's a really engaged defensive player. I don't know why he stopped doing it once Kevin Durant left. I don't know, but I mean, I understand that first year, but even once Paul George got there and there were other good players, Westbrook was not a good defensive player for a little bit. He can play defense now though, and I think Denver is just their team identity is Russell Westbrook. Like everybody is like, hey, let's go be like Russ out there. And Nikola Jokic will he'll hit us on backdoor cuts and do all these really fun things. So much intricate offense with them. Like every play, they're they have something cool drawn up for Jamal Murray running off of off ball screens, or somebody else has the ball and Jokic and Murray are just kind of like running around in circles right next to each other, and the defenses just don't know what to do about it. I think Denver's legit. I'll pull up. I don't know where their defense has gotten up to, but it's gotten a lot better. It's only 19th now, but their offense is second in the league, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that'll tighten up by playoffs, like the defensive stuff, especially. I mean, this is gonna be a really, really fun team to watch, and they're gonna give us some really exciting postseason matchups. I think Jamal Murray's been playing a lot better. He's been getting a lot of flag uh, this season. And like you said, Russell Westbrook, I don't think any of us expected him to be contributing the way that he has. And Christian Braun has really turned the season around. And like you said, Aaron Gordon, every time Aaron Gordon comes back, things start to click for them. It seems like, so very interesting. The defense is a tiny bit of a concern, but I really don't see it being a problem come playoff time.
Because they have gotten a good bit better. Murray just looks like Murray again,
Yeah.
and like he his bubble highlights. You watch his bubble highlights, and you're like, holy shit, that's Kyrie Irving. And then like you watch his highlights since the bubble, and you're like, holy shit, that player's better than Kyrie Irving. And then he has had his down year of playing, and I think he's getting back to that level where you're like, holy shit, this is better than Kyrie Irving. Um, Jamal Murray's looking great. He looks athletic again. His shot making's always been crazy, but the foot was hurt. The foot is no longer hurt. He's got that max contract. He's playing like a max contract player. Really fun. I guess more max contract talk. I know this is at your level of expertise, but do we think that there's going to be a tank for the defensive player of the year, or not a tank, but as it currently stands, Memphis, if Jaren Jackson wins defensive player of the year, they have to pay him a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. And you can't just let Jaren Jackson walk, especially with your kind of core right now. I think Ja and JJJ are probably the two biggest pieces, right? And you're gonna have to pay. And this is a guy no chance of winning it. So now he's gonna win it because Wemby and AD aren't gonna qualify. And like I think you told me that JJJ would literally be getting paid more than Luca.
Yeah.
That's crazy and a huge commitment for a small market team. Uh, I think it said the largest contract in the NBA, and for the Grizzlies to be shelling out that kind of money to one player is a lot, especially when that one player isn't named John Morant. Uh, it's going to put them in a very tough situation, so they better hope they have a really good run this playoffs, and JJJ is a big part of that, because it's crazy, and it's 5 years, right? Wow.
He would become the highest paid player in NBA history. I believe. Jaren Jackson Jr. This past season, Jason Tatum became the highest paid player in NBA history. The year before it was Jaylen Brown.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be weird because it's gonna be the guy who got paid most recently. It's like when
Yeah.
wide receivers sign deals. It's like, yeah, of course he got paid less money than Tyreek Hill, of course, because he signed more recently than Tyreek Hill. Where Mahomes is getting paid like $50 million a season, and Jared Goff is getting 55 a year because Jared Goff signed 3 years later. Like, of course it's gonna work that way, but it would be like $115 million like pay increase for Jaren Jackson. And currently they've played 58 games. So I'm no math major, but that to me sounds like they have 24 remaining.
Yep.
Jaren Jackson has missed 1 game so far this
Dang.
year. So
You know, you have to get a 60 or 65.
65.
Yeah.
So Jaren Jackson's played 56, or it's now 57 games. So if he plays 8 more games of the remaining 23, 24 games, he's going to get that money. Unless Evan Mobley gets the Defensive Player of the Year award. So if you're in the position of Memphis, currently, they might even be third place now because yeah, they're technically third place right now because they just lost to the Knicks. What are you doing with this Jaren situation? Are you just letting him go out there a ball, or are you gonna tell him, hey, we're not gonna let you go crazy against the Raptors, and you're gonna only play 24 minutes this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just gonna let him ball. I mean, obviously you want to do the other part, but I just don't see that happening. I think they're just gonna go out there and try to win ball games and keep trying to get their standing in the West. And we'll probably see JJJ win a DPOY for the second or third time in his career.
Second time,
Second time.
yeah. You obviously can't do what I was just
Yeah,
proposing,
yeah, I figured.
but it would be too obscure because they do not play their starters a ton over there in Memphis.
True.
So they could make an argument, hey, we're just trying to get guys ready to be in the playoffs. Obviously, they're not going to do it. They're going to hope Evan Mobley just wins Defensive Player of the Year. But that's where Evan Mobley would get his contract escalated then, if he were to win Defensive Player of the Year. So there's a lot of money on the line for those two guys. I'm sure they're going to play their ass off. And, obviously we wanted Wemby to be healthy, but, Wemby can take 1 year off, all right? He can have the next 6 Defensive Players of the Year. We'll let these guys get their shine while they
R.I.P.
get a
Wemby.
chance. We're praying Victor Wembanyama is going to be healthy. What big storylines do we still have left?
I got I think I got a couple more.
Okay, yeah, I'll let
Uh
him rip.
Good.
Yeah, I'll just let him rip.
Oh, Jalen Suggs out indefinitely. I think that's a huge blow to the Magic. This Magic team was very bad offensively. And Jalen Suggs was, they're not a good 3-point shooting team as well. Jalen Suggs was a guy that could really help that area and help add to their really good defensive team, the defensive squad. And now he's out for the season. It's a huge blow for the Magic. I think they're eighth or ninth seed. I don't see this team really doing anything in the playoffs, unfortunately. Um, and then the Spurs are like actually tanking. It looks like they're 13th. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I knew Wemby going out was going to be crazy, but I mean, you still had De'Aaron Fox. But I guess they really want Cooper Flag. I mean, it's going to be, especially in this loaded draft class, Pat, for the Spurs to get such a high pick. When we were both saying that this could be an interesting team to watch in the playoffs. Uh, I mean, what are we thinking here? I mean, Spurs is really interesting. Crazy.
I think they've won like 2 games since De'Aaron Fox has been traded there, and I think they won the first 2.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they've won since De'Aaron Fox's 3rd game there. And hey, Cooper Flag and Wemby would be crazy. I've talked to you so much about how Sar, Bilal, and Cooper would be crazy defensively. Like, yeah, Wemby's got it a little more than Alex Sar. Just
True,
gotta
true.
just gotta say it. But yeah, that would be absurd. And I think Cooper's the exact type of player they'd want next to Wemby, and he's not even a guaranteed #1 guy. Starting to look into the draft a little bit, but he's legit to say the least. I think there's a couple guys that are legit too. Should we? I mean, I guess we mentioned at the end the last time, but should we mention the fantasy league situation we have going on?
Sure, Pat. Let's do it.
So so for the viewers who are unaware, which by the way, it's our most popular video. For some reason, the thumbnail is me. It's just me sitting there. I don't know how it's our most popular video, but the loser of our fantasy basketball league between Sheldon and I is doing a G League trial. And for those of y'all who don't know, we didn't play basketball like that.
No.
We can hoop a little bit, but we did not play basketball like that. We are currently the 2 top teams in our league. Um, it's a bunch of randoms. So there's like three other people who set their lineups.
Yeah,
Sheldon had the number 2 overall pick, I think. 3 selected Victor Wembanyama. Wemby's now
of
hurt.
course, of
He's on the
course.
waiver wire. I guess it's payback now though because I have Embiid. Had
Yeah,
and Embiid's now out for the year. Um, we're both 14-3. Um, Sheldon has like a 300 point advantage because yeah, he's missed he's left way less points on the bench than me. We're both clutch to the playoffs. Whoever wins in the finals, like it's just gonna be us playing in the finals, more likely than not. The loser of the finals will be doing a G League trial. That should be very fun.
yeah. I'm praying one of the guys upsets you in the regular season. Um, but yeah, Wemby. My team is a lot different. I looked back on it. It's completely different from draft day. Um, I think if my team was the same, I would be screwed. I picked up a lot of I picked up a lot of people, and they turned out to be doing really good for me. So I'd be feeling a lot more confident if I had Wemby, but no Wemby. No Wemby hurts. No
Yeah.
Wemby hurts a lot.
Uh, notable player on your team that we need to shout out because we haven't talked about him. Trey Murphy the third's been balling.
He's been balling all year. I've talked about him on a way back when on a recap video, but yeah, he's been going crazy for the Pelicans.
I'm glad he is getting the opportunities to have the ball in his hands for 30 minutes a game because yeah, he's always been able to shoot the ball, but yeah, Trey Murphy's a great ball player. I'm glad they have finally moved on from the Ingram Zion stuff. And hey, have you been seeing Zion Williamson play basketball recently?
Yeah, triple double, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Really good
Yeah,
stuff.
it doesn't matter because they're 16-43 and not making that play in game. Like, there's just no shot they make it. Um, it would be a 14 game comeback with
Maybe
25 to play.
maybe it's time to get rid of Zion while he has this such good value. Get some first round picks in this loaded draft class and really start just a true rebuild. I don't know.
Re-
I'm just thinking off the top of my
replenish the DeJounte Murray picks that they
Yes.
that they just traded.
Yeah.
Um, Shout out New Orleans. Zion is playing better basketball. Trey Murphy is killing it, and they have been more healthy lately. Do you know who their leading scorer on the year is? Like in a single game?
This is Javante Green.
That's funny because he always has a good game against the Knicks. No, CJ McCollum dropped 50 points in one game.
Oh yeah, that was random as fuck. Yeah, that shit pissed me off.
Um, yeah, this felt weird. I was doing the trivia this time. Um, it's weird what to do.
Don't do
Let's see.
that.
Do you got anything else to throw out there?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Shout out Toronto. They can still make the play-in. Um, Anthony Edwards serving his suspension.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, really good game between Thunder and Timberwolves. Cat or Ant didn't even play when they came back from down 25, but he had a huge block on SGA. Just crazy stuff. Really good. NBA's back, baby. No
so
more
back.
problems.
And that's going to be a first round matchup too. So the beauty of it. Um, just oh my god, it's such a great game. That was one that you texted me about as it was happening, and it was I should have watched it. I should have watched it. I considered watching it before because they played twice in a row. I turned on the other one before, and I think the Thunder blew them out a little bit, or they won convincingly. And then just I didn't put that one on. Such a great game. Um, but yeah, Minnesota's hanging in there. Yeah. Do you have a updated MVP ladder that you want to get out there? Or?
I got an interesting ladder today. I'm just gonna rattle off some names. Based off maybe some recent games I was watching. So my fifth guy, Donovan Mitchell. Number four, Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum's been super consistent, just throughout the year, having really good at numbers. Then of course Giannis, Shea, and Jokic. I think I'm pretty firm there still. But yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell has been playing some really really good ball recently for the Cavs. I think the Cavs are going to be a fun team to talk about around our playoff video because I really like them this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have too much to say about them. I like the Donovan Mitchell shout out. I think I said earlier in the year I was like, hey, what does Donovan Mitchell got to do to get up there? But yeah, I mean that's about how I would go with it. This was a pretty quick recap to for us to do. Um, I think there's been a full 2 weeks of games, but dude, it's about to get to the point where teams are playing for seeding. So there's going to be probably 2 to 3 games a week that are just like you want to watch, like you're glued to the TV for them.
I'm excited.
Dude, um, Thunder's going to play somebody coming up soon just to clinch the 1 seed, and it's going to be one of the games of the year. I'm ready for it. Playoffs are coming. I can't wait to playoffs because those are days where you're sitting down every day of the week at 6 o'clock till midnight and just watching the 3 games in a row. Um, Next week's episode, we're currently between another redraft episode or a similar episode to last week's episode where we debate kind of what we did last week with Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and James Harden for the shooting guard position. It maybe won't be like, hey, who's the best point guard or who's the best power forward. It might just be a more obscure topic, but it could be an episode like that. Or 2012 redraft is a potential possibility. So we will see you guys next time. See you.